you so much for joining us on World of Art right here on OGTV. My name is Miriam Osman. Every week we bring you artists and together we explore the advantages brought to visual art in our everyday lives. This program is brought to you by Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon, legal practitioner, Africa's largest private art collector, grand donor and chairman of council, Yemisi Shilong Museum of Art, in collaboration with Society of Nigerian Artists, Ogun State Chapter. Today we have a very interesting guest on the program, and I can't wait to start a conversation with her. But of course, we'll go on this quick break, and when we return, the conversation continues. Don't forget, you can always send us message on Word of Art, and you can always ask our guest question on the program today. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying tuned. You're still watching World of Art on OGTV. Today we're being joined by Chiamaka Praise Babajide, who is a visual artist from Imo State. She has exhibited artistic ability from a very young age and pursued her passion by furthering her education in art. She's a first-class graduate of Fine and Applied Art. It's specialization in painting from the Imo State University, Owerri. Well, she used mainly oil and acrylic, where she explores the concept of time and its relationship to human existence and also relationships. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I think your name is quite artistic. If you let me work with that, you know, when I first saw the name Chiamaka Babajide, I'm like, okay, something definitely happened. But we're not here to talk about that. I want to say it's so good to have you here. And I've seen your pictures, your work. I've seen how beautiful they look, which of course is being displayed on the screen right now. Well, as always on the program, I love to engage artists, and that has to do with their background in art, because we are product of our backgrounds. And the funny thing about it is, every single time artists get to tell their stories on this program, there've never been a time where they've been similar backgrounds. Everybody have their story. So I'm going to have you walk us through your journey into art. I'm talking about when you knew that, oh, I can do this. How was it?
Okay. Like you just read in my artist bio, I've always loved art. I've always loved to draw. I've always loved to paint. I even have old artworks I did when I was really little. My mom.
How little? What age?
Maybe, let's say, between the ages of 6.
Yeah.
Upward. My mom would keep those works. I still have one pastel on my kitchen wall in my family house till date. Yeah, so I've always exhibited those abilities. Back in junior secondary school, I was the only one that did visual art in my class. Still in senior secondary school, I was the only one that did visual art. I was the only one that wrote it in WAEC. Wow, I've just had the passion for it. I've always loved colors. I've always loved to interpret my feelings on paper.
And when you were no other persons beside you to...
Yeah, I was doing what I love. And I was just happy. It kept me going. And when it was time to write jam, the thing is, I never knew that there was fine and applied art as a course on its own. But my mom told me, hey, Amaka, how about fine art? I'm like, oh, really? It has to do with paper?
Your mom told you that?
Yes.
You know, it's always different. There are people who will tell you their parents wanted them to be lawyers, doctors, nurses.
Yeah.
For your mom to have done that, she saw something.
Yeah, because she used to draw too, but she never really took it as something so serious. So when she told me, I was like, okay, the painting and drawing thing, okay, let's go. And that was how it started for me professionally. Then Imo State University, fine and applied art, painting, and here I am today.
Their conversation is about, you know, theories and practicals in universities, and this is a pure practical course. You have to be very good in the practice of it. Whatever you learn as a theory, you know, is just like a backup most of the time. So what would you talk about that? Is it true that most of the schools in Nigeria, especially when it comes to courses like this, they're like laid back a little bit?
Okay, I'm going to be really careful here because there are universities, there are polytechnics. The way we hear, or what we hear, is that polytechnics are more practical than universities. But universities do practicals too, and they do theories. But for fine arts, the practical is there, art history, and then you take GST courses. It's important for artists to be intellectuals. Artists are readers, artists are learners. It's not enough to just know how to draw, know how to paint. What's the story you're trying to tell? There's only someone that reads really well, that likes to make research, knows about his or her history. He can communicate your story better. And somebody that doesn't just have anything in the brain, like you don't really know the books, you don't really know about your society, your environment, and you're just drawing. And they ask you, what's this thing you're drawing? What's this thing you're painting about? What stories are you trying to tell? And if you don't have anything to say, you just waters down what you're already, trying to put out there. So for the university thing, the theory, the practical, they go hand in glove. Both are important.
I love how you answer this question. It sounds so political. Well, yeah, you definitely did justice to the question, and I was hoping that I heard that part. But one of the things that just struck me in this explanation was people get to learn the literature part as well in courses like yours, and I think that's what distinguishes you from roadside. No offense, but those are the things that sets you apart from roadside artists who just probably have the talent. And there's this misconception, I don't know if it's a misconception or it's true, that the world of art is talent based. It's not studies related, and so because it's talent based, people just believe that I don't need to go to school to study this thing. I have the talent, I can just start doing my thing from. What do you think such kind of mindset can do for somebody? I don't need to learn the talent, I have it, I'm just going to keep doing me.
Okay, the thing is, having talent is good, but it's never enough. Talent is never enough, right? Because even right now in this world, we have a ton of self-taught, they say they are self-taught visual artists. But you can't really say you're self-taught because you watch YouTube videos. There are people that you see online that you get inspired by their work, you learn, you read on your own, you make research, and then that helps your craft. That helps the artistic side of you. It helps the way you apply your colors. It helps the way you just put down what you have in your head. Right? So being talented is good, and maybe not having to study the course in school and all of that, it's good, it's bold. You just do it because you know that you have this talent and you know you can do it. Yes, it's amazing, but it doesn't stop you from still studying, doesn't stop you from still getting inspiration from other people and all of that. Yeah.
First class graduate of fine and applied art paintings category. That is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Because, I don't know, I can imagine the journey for you, the competition, you're female, and then there are some courses that just brings in the feminine power in you, and then there are some courses that just frustrate every being of you because you're a female, right? But let's talk about that part where, you didn't just become an artist by talent. You studied. You didn't just study in school. You came out with bright colors, very good results. And comparing it with the outside world, how has that shaped your life?
Okay, I'll start from the school experience. It was an amazing experience, I won't lie, though it came with its own challenges, and that's very normal. Irrespective of the course we study, there are always challenges. And I was the only female that graduated from my sets.
No.
And I was the only one that did painting.
Is it that serious?
Yes, it's that serious. The fact that I really wanted to do this art, I don't think there's anything else I can do aside the art. As far as it's not connected to art, I don't think I'll be connected to it. Art, there are different aspects of art. We have the performing art, we have visual arts, fine arts, applied arts, right? Fashion is art. Music is art. So everything that embodies art is something that I have interest in. Coming to the outside world and then the school thing, will I say they are different? Maybe not so different. Just that the school environment is somewhat unclear. It's somewhat unclear
certainty
outside world. Because there are a lot of things I've experienced outside school that I didn't really expect to experience given the school environment.
Welcome to real life.
Yes, so I guess that's basically what I'm going to say. I don't want to go too deep, so it will look like I'm trying to throw shades on the school or the educational system. But then the advice I would have for anybody, any course, try to know what's going on outside. Try to study the markets
while you're still
in school. So when you leave school, you won't have to start from the beginning again.
I'm telling you, that is what we are missing majority of the time. We focus so much in the theories, the book, the scholars, the rules, and when we come out, it's a different game outside. And then you see someone who has spent 4 years of their life studying a particular thing, looking like a toddler. You know, the struggle to just face the reality. It's like school didn't really prepare you for the reality. Yes, I can definitely relate with that. And it's so good to hear that, these are conversations that are being heard. And I hope that the necessary people that can make the change are also watching right now. But let's talk about you after school, the real world now. You studied painting in school. And I believe you've been pushing through with it. But how were you able to navigate whatever you learned from school as painting and in the real world? Because also, what the real world wants is quite different from what you studied in school. And if you want to grow, you have to try as much as you can to adjust, and not just adjust. Yeah, just like real quick. If not, you're just going to be left out of the train. So how were you able to, just blend in with reality? And then I see some of your works. They're very beautiful, very unique, and the oil painting is quite pronounced that it looks so real. I want you to walk us through your medium of expression.
Okay. Can we go back to the question? Because you asked the question.
Yeah, how were you able
to my time on that for the outside world compared to the school? The thing is, during my IT, that was in 2021, I did my IT under Mr. Courage Onyekachi. If you're seeing this, shout out to you.
Oh, shout out to Mr. Courage.
He was an amazing head start for the real world of art for me. Because that was when I developed my personal style as an artist. Because I talk about time and how it relates to human relationships.
What does that mean?
I'll walk you through that. Let's just take... So he was one that opened my mind to see that, okay, the school is good. It will teach you the rules. It will teach you how to be able to break them when you are set free in your mind outside the world, right? But there are other things you need to know. So through him, I started studying the outside world. He taught me that, hey, you cannot stand on your own. You have to network with other artists. I'm still settling. I've not settled yet. I'm still trying to blend into the real world. I've not finished blending.
We all are still blending.
Exactly. So he taught me how to do that. The networking thing, the fact that you have to keep an open mind and try out new things. Don't be stuck on the fact that, okay, you were taught that you have to use red and blue here. Try out pop, try out yellow. So that's how it has been. How to also keep up with the media space. Try to create a platform for yourself. The good thing about social media is you don't need permission per platform. You can always open accounts. You can open 10, you can open 20, just show up, show your work. So he taught me that too. And again, basically it. And then about my work.
Yeah, what about passion and your work?
Like I said, I talk about time and how it relates to human existence and relationships. When you look around you, time is something that is a factor in everybody's lives. The way you are now is not how you were, let's say 2 years ago.
Nah.
What you want now is not what you wanted like 5 years ago. Things change, and that happens with time. Time has a part to play in our lives, in our relationships, in how we think, in what we want, in our desires. So I like to talk about that. The current series I finished before this one I'm about to do, I talked about waiting season, chapters of waiting. That was the title of the series. And I just decided to tell my personal story. As artists, we look into ourselves. Most times we talk about ourselves a lot in our arts, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. Somehow, your life is okay to showing you certain things. Exactly. So I went through a lot back in school, having to wait for my results. A lot of things happened. And I was like, okay, what's going on? Why are things not moving? Why am I still stuck? I feel so stuck, right? I got to understand that, hey, if you spend all the time thinking of why you are so stuck, you will not really see the beauty in the waiting season and the making that happens to you when you are waiting. So I try to talk about that. Time changes us. Like, there's no how, there's no two ways about it. Time changes us. So when I got to understand that, I was like, okay, I'm not going to have this time again. Let me make use of it well. Instead of worrying and sulking about the fact that I'm stuck or my mates have gone so far and I'm still here, I started doing more study. I started painting more. I started showing up. I started showing up for my friends, showing up for my family.
Intentionally.
Exactly. Doing things I never thought I could do. trying to look into myself. I got more self-aware during that period. So, time can work for us and can work against us. It just depends on how we see it.
I tell you for sure that your conversation is quite inspirational, and for everyone watching, I'm hoping that at the end of the conversation today, you do not just get vital information about art, but also about how to navigate the journey of life. Now, some of your photos of artwork I have here. There's this particular one which is putting on a green top, and she's putting on like a yellow skirt, and then she has her hand to the chin, and her eyes is closed. She's looking very beautiful, but at the same time, she looks like someone who is waiting. She's not just waiting, but she's waiting and she's looking worried at the same time. Was this what you were trying to portray in that pictures?
Just the series I was talking to you about,
Yeah.
Actors of Waiting. This
was one of them.
Yes, I did 3 or 4 works in that series. The first one was a lady lying on the chair. The second one was a man, like there was just like this in the painting, and then this is the third one. The first one, I'm sorry, I'm walking you through the
That's okay.
paintings before we get to the third one, because you can't just talk about the third one without talking about the first and the second one. So the first one, when the waiting season just hits you, it's like everything is going crazy, and you're like, what do I do? I'm so downcast. That's how it starts. Frustration, then this one, stability. You've accepted the fact that, hey, there's nothing you can do about it, but you can make it work for you. So that's what this paint was talking about, in an introspective mode. That's what she was in, thinking about how she can leverage his waiting season to her own benefits.
I see. I mean, these are very good thought you've translated into the images. And do you sometimes have challenges of which gender to use in your expression? Because this thing you're trying to talk about now is not gender based. It could happen to anybody, any gender. You sometimes decide or have challenges in which one should I pick, which one should I not pick.
Challenges, I'll say no. I just think about the best gender to portray the message I want to. Because the second piece in this series was a man. He looked so frustrated. I think if you check, you see it, a man with his hand under his jaw. He looked so frustrated. And men feel a lot of emotions, but the society has taught them to say, hey, I can't show it.
Yeah.
I can't cry. I can't seem like I don't have my life together in the outside world. But I just try to portray the fact that men feel sad. They feel frustrated too. And I just wanted to see that.
I know you said you try to incorporate more of human existence and time in your artwork. Are those the things you would want to be remembered, many years after now? I'm asking this because a lot of artists, they just want to express themselves, right? They express themselves in an environment, they express themselves just in different form. And then years after years, somehow this artwork is not just an artwork. In fact, the artwork outlived their name, outlived their time. Let me give you an instance. The Benin bronze, for instance, the cockerel and every other thing, artifacts that are popular with the Benin people. Not a lot of persons know the names of the people who made those art. But these art have transcended from generation to generation. It's known as one of Nigeria's major artifacts. And now you just keep talking about these things. And if you want to look at it, these people did not really know that they were making art that will outlive their names. They were just doing something as it came, and years after years, it's here. So for you, what would you want people to? Because I feel like this is the opportunity you have over the old artists. They didn't have platform to actually understand that, you can be intentional about what you do, so that when you are not here, it will live after you. It will speak for you. I believe if the people who were doing this know, they would have done more than this. Yeah. So for you, what would that be?
I'll be glad. No, not I'll be glad. I'm sure that my art will live even when I've left this world. because I tell stories that are relatable. We can't talk about ourselves without talking about the times and seasons that we've gone through. And I just want people to understand that time can work for you and not against you. It's just how you see it and how you choose to walk through it. So that's like the story that I want to continuously tell in different forms, in different times. Because, like I said, time happens for people differently. Sorry.
All right. I mean, we're gradually coming to the end of the program today, and I'm going to ask you this last question. You know, artists have also had to tell me that, in the study of this profession, I had to lay my hand on everything. You know, I had to do textile, I had to do sculpting, I had to do painting, I had to do this, I had to do that. It was at the final stage that I knew that, this is what I want to do. Was just like that? Or you've always known that this is painting and it's a do or die affair, I have to go with it?
Okay. Getting into school, I wanted to do textile because I've always loved fashion, modest fashion, African prints. It's something that I really. But when I got into school, I just wasn't feeling it anymore. When I just looked at the textile culture in my school, I just preferred the painting culture, and I was like, okay, painting works, because painting was actually my second choice, and I know that I can still do textile in my painting. I can paint Ankara, I can still export textile, I can do mixed media. So
all right, thank you, Chiamaka Babajide, for being on the program today. We've had a very great time, but of course, I always love to give people opportunity to give our shout out to their loved ones, shout out to Society of Nigerian Artists, and of course, the sponsor of our program, Prince Yemisi Shilon.
Okay, so I can give it in any order, right?
Yeah, any order.
Okay, like I said before, shout out to Mr. Courage or Para Onik.
Yes, Mr. Courage, thank you.
The second time, because you mean a lot to me and you gave me a head start in my art career. Thank you so much. And shout out to my mom and my dad and my siblings that believe in me and my husband. He is there.
No,
Thank you for the support. But I don't feel like anything changed even now that I am married, because many people feel like when you get married, not really do the art thing again, and I'm like, no, I will feel better now because he gives me ideas and he observes, now what can you like, now do this, how about you do this? So yeah, shout out to him. And to
Society of Nigerian
Artists. I hear a lot about this society, and I'm going to join here in Ogun State. Shout out to you all too.
Yes.
Prince Yemisi Shilon, thank you so much for this platform. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, that's our guest today on the program, Chiamaka Babajide, a blend of Yoruba and Igbo. That's what we love to see, and it's so beautiful to have her walk us through our journey into art. And I trust that you enjoyed every bit of it. Don't forget that World of Art talks about art in our society and how we can continuously promote the practice of art in our everyday lives. My name is Miriam Usman. This program is brought to you by Prince Yemisi Shilon, legal practitioner, Africa's largest private art collector, Grand Donor and Chairman of Council, Yemisi Shilon Museum of Art, in collaboration with Society of Nigerian Artists, Ogun State Chapter. I'll see you next week, God's willing. Until then, art is life. Bye for now.